Hi, my name is Alicia, and I created this video to demonstrate my knowledge of planning and executing a web design project. In this particular video, I'll discuss a project that I just started today and will post an additional video upon completion. This project is called the ed.gov Redesign Challenge, and that's the Department of Education for those of you who are not familiar. Normally, a sizable web design project will be accompanied by a request for proposal, that's an RFP, with a list of requirements, a budget, and a timetable. Personally, I really like it when organizations do this because it demonstrates that they're experienced and they've also put a lot of thought into their organizational goals instead of just saying, "Hi, I need a website," and do not really have any other information. In this case, the Department of Education did a really amazing job with the design challenge and provided the tech community with the tools that they need in order to complete the project. So the first step in any web development project is to read over the documentation. And in this case, it was a landing page to, get the general idea of the project. So the next step is to start breaking down the information into a project management system. In this case, I chose MeisterTask because it's a small team on this project and it doesn't require programmers and it supports an organizational system called Kanban. So this system was developed by Toyota in the 1940s in an effort to minimize time waste without sacrificing productivity. So today, Kanban is considered the foundation of lean methodology, which is really what the web development community uses. So let's suppose that we're starting this redesign right now. The way to read this Kanban board is from left to right, starting with the open column. This column represents all of the open tasks that needs to be completed in order to finish the project. As each task comes into play, it's assigned to the appropriate team member. In this case, it's me. And when that team member begins working on the task, he or she will drop it into the in progress column to show that they've started working on it. So again, it signals to the project manager, in this case it's me, that that person has begun the task. And in this manner, I don't have to ask who's working on what. I can load the project board and see the progress at a glance. When they finish, they'll drop it into in review, where I have an automation set up so that it alerts me that the work is ready to be reviewed. At this point, the task undergoes a series of revisions where I will provide feedback and then return it to assigned, where the team member will be notified that there's feedback in the task and it's ready for him or her to start working on it once more. After it's gone through, several revisions and it is in its last stage of revision, then it can finally, go into the complete column. And from here, we move on to other tasks. Naturally, there's a lot of things in motion at the same time, as you can see. Now, setting up a project can be a bit of a chaotic process because there are so many requirements and sometimes competing requirements. There are unknowns, there are tasks that need to be worked on simultaneously. Personally, I like to begin with a list of reference materials so that I can save time as I'm oscillating through the various tasks. In this case, my reference task contains the contest landing info, their current website, a link to their analytics, the submission form and details, the related US Act, and the judging criteria along with some supporting documentation. The next step is to document the stated project requirements and loosely create a Gantt chart, which is just a fancy way of saying timeline. We'll take a quick look at the Gantt chart just so that you can see what I mean. So this timeline represents all of the stages of the projects, which most are tied to a specific task. For example, the homepage design. In this manner, I can allocate the appropriate amount of resources to make sure that I meet the project deadline. And I actually start mentally building a team that is a combination of both availability and skill for any particular project. So specifically, who's going to be the best graphic designer, best web designer, programmer, do we need a photo video producer, and so on. Also like to look at any existing data that we might have for any particular organization. For example, if the client has a Google Analytics installed, and I can see that 90% of their traffic is mobile, coming from Southern California, and are women under the age of 35. Then that informs our choices about design, and I would include that in the design guide. In this case, the Department of Education did provide the analytics data, and which you can see here, and it was definitely helpful in informing some of the page elements. So as I go through the contest landing page, the workflow becomes very clear. I enter all of the details from the page into the appropriate task, and this includes the overall site structure, the user journeys, various page elements that would complement the website's objectives, the strategy for content, etc. Finally, as I finish creating all of the tasks needed to complete the design project, I organize them chronologically and into categories. These groups of tasks are called sprints, and they're needed in order to keep the team members clear on individual deadlines and from burning out from oscillating between too many projects. You can see that each task is labeled according to its corresponding sprint all the way through the design submission for the contest. So that's it. That's the whole project. I really enjoy using this method of project management because it doesn't just work for web design. These principles of lean methodology can be used to achieve a variety of projects, including political campaigns or policy research or other government work. So thanks for watching the video, and I hope that it successfully demonstrated an aspect of my professional experience. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me over email. Thanks.